What's up, everybody? This is CJ. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing some commentary on a game I did for The Quest with Patience. I'm sitting in the second position. Patience is in first, Shiku is in third, and Lux Sit is in fourth. And we're going to see a pickup of Margot, I think, here from our fourth position, Lux Sit. I think that's okay. I don't really know what would be best here. Shiku takes Fade. I'm thinking about taking Helen Mohayim here. I don't end up taking Mohayim in this game. I end up taking Shaddam, I believe. And I think Shaddam is very good in Uprising Bloodlines. I think all of these are very good. I think Mohayim is very good. Steersman is very good. Yuna, I don't know about Yuna, but definitely don't love Lady Jessica. So I'm taking that, sitting in second position, and pretty happy with where I am. So let's take a look at the row. We've got some Bene Gesserit operatives. We've got some other stuff here. Nothing really great. The Bene Gesserit operative was the best thing in the row. We'll get back to that in a second. Here, I just want to mention that I'm working on trying to make it clearer for everyone what is happening in this game. So I will zoom in on the board so you can see where players are playing. It's a little bit easier to see that way. And then I'll try to zoom out when we need to like pay attention to other people and all that good stuff. So I accidentally have it set to the fourth position, and I realize, oh, I'm green, not blue. So I'll fix that real fast. Sorry about that. But my hand has Dune, Seek Allies, Convincing, and my Ring. I definitely want to play the Ring here, and I get access to the Refinery real fast, which is great. I love getting Refinery. I think this is one of the best things you can get early on, is just get access to Refinery early, and there are a couple of leaders who can do that, with Shaddam being one of them. Yellow plays to Desert Tactics and is probably going to throw in one here. Nope, they're going to throw in two. All right, so we are not committed to this battle because we could not commit with our Ring. And we're thinking about Seek Allies here. And where do we seek alliesing to? My preferred place is to go to Emperor to go get the first contract that we're going to be working on. These contracts are pretty good. Let's take a look at this game real fast. Space-Time Folding and Shiga Wire were the other cards that I was interested in. The contracts, we really want the Solari contract here. The Solari contract with the Spy would be ideal. The immediate one is totally useless right now. I know people really like it. I find it very difficult to time that right, and usually I don't end up getting it. Patience is going to throw in here. He's going to put his Spy down in the Landsrad. He's going to toss another guy in. That seems pretty reasonable. He really wants this combat, so going to cull something from his deck. I think second place is actually better in this combat. But we're not going to be contesting that as we have no blue access or yellow, and we don't really need to go to yellow right now. So we're going to get our Sardaukar commander. I think we're going to pick up... Yep, we're going to pick up our... I can't remember what that one's called. Is that Driven? Hardy. Pick up Hardy. I like Hardy. Hardy and Driven are the best, I think. And then the one that gives you Persuasion is slightly below those, but also pretty good. Espionage contract comes out. That's a nice one. Anything that gives you an easy way to make Solari in this game should be prized pretty early on in this. Indeed, we see Shiku take it. And now another one with the card draw comes up. So that one's very nice. It's a Secrets contract. We are going to see Patience probably win this one. I can't imagine Shiku wanted this too much. The Water and the Solari are good. Third place, like blue would have been better off here limping in something. Looks like they are going to... Oh, let's take a look at the text real fast. Sorry about that, jumping around. He is going to limp in one. That's pretty good. One of my quest points is to pay more attention to the tech, and I'm currently not doing a very good job of that, but we'll work on that as we go. So zooming out, just seeing some reveals here. I kind of like where I am. I like just going for a good buy early on. There's some decent stuff in the row here. We see Shishakli. Shishakli would be something I would be most interested in. I think she is a very strong card. There's no other Fremen besides Siege Reverend Mother, which could be a problem, but, you know, we'll probably see another Fremen later on. Siege Reverend Mother would be like another good one, but there's no way to guarantee you're going to see another Fremen, especially since Shishakli will be probably taken. So it's either that or BGO. I think Bene Gesserit Operative might have been the correct play here, but I go with Shishakli. I was thinking about combat, that I wanted to have the upper hand in the next couple combats, since I do have Hardy, and I have a Sardaukar commander. So just trying to pressure people. A lot of people throwing a lot of troops in, so that seems okay at the moment. Okay, so we have this spy question mark combat. I think this is a good one because the second place rewards 2 intrigue cards. So got to be careful if someone's looking to get second place. You don't want them to not have to pay hardly anything. You want them to actually pay something. My hand is a little awkward. I do, you know, obviously I'm going to go draw here. We want to draw some cards, get our deck cycled. Ideally, if I could find Shishakli, that'd be pretty cool, which I do. Unfortunately, I don't have a Fremen card, you know. There are 2 Fremen cards in the row, so that is very likely to factor in here in a little bit. The question is, what am I going to be tossing in? I think you just throw 3 in and be reasonably happy with this. I don't really want to commit a second action to throw more troops in, I think. So we're going to throw all 3 in here. Sardaukar commander, of course, we just want to get in there. He basically replaces himself, almost. Getting the spice here is pretty important. If I'm going to be battling, I'm going to need a lot of spice. And yellow gets out of the way, just throws 1 in, and is happy with very little commitment. So Lux is... Let's see what Lux is going to do here. Looking to buy something good. There's nothing really good to buy. Okay. Going to get some troops from the Landsrad and buy the Sardaukar. Get the other Hardy. So there's potentially a lot of battling going on between myself and Blue and Lux in the bottom left, excuse me. I think this would be a foolhardy thing, though, if they try to go try and combat and beat me in this round, because I've already got, like, all of the good spaces already taken, so they wouldn't be able to get a whole lot of anything. I think that would be a mistake, so I don't think they're going to bother with that. Yeah, Patience tosses 1 in, and then Blue's probably going to sit out this round because Patience has the final say in combat in case they do need it. And also, since Blue doesn't have any water, they are not able to go to Haga Basin to throw in that last troop. They would only be able to go to the Fremen. Looks like Shiku's going to go Secrets, sitting already at 2 intrigue cards. Now they have 3. It's pretty reasonable. Blue is going to go to Fremen, I think, here. Although I would actually consider possibly going to Espionage. Dropping your spy on the Bene Gesserit would be nice here. Like, I don't know. They're not going to be able to beat me, obviously. Like, I have easily won this combat. Like, I have 4 daggers in hand and no one has any other combat cards, so we're pretty good here. I guess my thought was, like, possibly I didn't have to commit 3 troops to this, but then that might have incentivized Blue to, like, throw more guys in. Okay, so I'm gonna redo this. Okay, it's going to be heading up to the Hall of Oratory, probably. Gonna speak some things and get some tech. Decides to pick up, I can't remember which tech, the one that gives him an influence, and yeah, it's one of the problems. I can't remember which techs are which. They're all new to me because I've not played enough of this game. And when I had been playing it, I all mixed in the other Ix techs in person, and so it was a little bit weird. We saw a lot of those and not a lot of the new ones. But I am getting back into that. The one I see here that I really like that is the extra persuasion and the two intrigues. I believe it's 2 intrigues for 4 spice. It's a very good rate. We've got the extra 4 daggers, 2 to buy. I think Prepare the Way's fine. There's nothing else I could buy, I think. Yeah, it's all out of my range. I think it's a little sad that I ended up drawing Shishakli there because I didn't really need it this turn. It would have been nicer to draw it next turn, but it is random draw, so there's nothing I could have done about that. I guess I could have not drawn that turn and gone back to Refinery, but I don't know. I don't hate my decision to try to draw through my deck. I like drawing quickly through my deck so that I can find my cards more Blue's reveal and is going to throw 4 in. This is an extremely costly second place for blue. They even threw a couple extras they didn't have to throw in, but yellow was repping just one intrigue, pardon me. I thought they had 3, but they're just 1 intrigue, because this one is the intrigue combat. So very, very costly, I think, for blue to do this. They probably could have done it with just 3 at the very bare bones. At the maximum is 3. So we get that combat, get our question mark for the end of the game. Going on to round 3. So I think we're doing pretty good. Notice here that a lot of people haven't committed to their faction alliances. A lot of people do not like committing to faction alliances early on in this game, and I agree with that because you can get completely overrun, especially since as the game goes on, the dilution of your symbols tends to lean away from your faction access unless you happen to buy very good faction access. In that case, good for you, but most of the time that doesn't happen. And I think this game, I just have my 1 faction access for the entirety of the game. That's something I need to kind of like pay attention to a little bit more. The Shiga wire could have been better in that regard, I think, just to get some extra access, or possibly any other. I like the other memory in the middle of the row right now. I think that's a very good card. We're on to the Thopter Bene Gesserit bump. That one is a very good one. I like that. I would like to get some more influence with Bene Gesserit just to get to my second one. Also notice I put my spy on the Bene Gesserit, so planning on going there, but not this round because I had already used my access card. But it's for the future. Yellow plays to Haga, gets 5 spice. Probably going to pick up a tech here. If I remember correctly, they pick up Panopticon, which I want to talk about a little later. I think blue is deciding which blue space they want to go to, and they're going to go to Arakeen, looks like, to draw the card and draw an extra card with their spy. I don't hate this. They seem to be looking for something. Maybe I don't know what they bought. It was one of the Bene Gesserit cards, I think, but I think that's, I don't know. They're drawing to draw. They probably should have gotten Solari instead here. But, it is what it is. Patience heads to, not still suits. What's that one called? Whatever used to be still suits is now this other one. He's heading there. I can't remember what it's called. It's like not Desert Tactics. That's the one above it. It shows how familiar I am with the board spaces. Even though I played Uprising, I just cannot remember that space for some reason. I'm going to go get some more Solari. I've got 6 Solari now. And I'm looking pretty good. Now, here's I think it's an important round for me. So I did not have a blue access card. And I did make a mistake here. I should have played my blue access card first. And I realized that I did this after the fact, leaving me with no green access in hand. This is a total mistake. Just going like, I really want the extra Solari. You know what? I didn't have to do that. I was worried that yellow was going to go to High Council this turn, but I did not need to worry about that because if I was paying better attention, I would have known that they probably would have done something else. And I think I thought because they had 5 Solari, though, they probably would have gone High Council immediately buying Panopticon. They did not do that. So I guess they pressured me a little bit in that I wasn't sure what they were going to do. But I should have still just played my Recon there 100%. That's a me problem. I should not have done that. Then I would have had enough to go to High Council this turn. I wouldn't have been able to pick up a tech, unfortunately, but getting to High Council this turn would have been nice. That would have put me at 6 persuasion. It's not nothing, but it's not like the end of the world. Definitely a mistake, though. And right now I'm wondering, like, what am I going to do with the rest of my turn? I think the next action is either I get a tech. I think I get, not tech, I'm sorry. I think I get a contract. I think I go to secure contracts to get a contract, draw a card. Blue is playing very aggressively. They're playing all of their intrigues like already. And I don't know if they should care about this combat very much. This is a blue symbol and they don't have a blue symbol. They don't even have a question mark. I think committing this much to this combat is a mistake. They should have just waited and let, like, potentially me go in here and not worry about, like, this doesn't even matter for them. I think this is something that also newer players of Dune Uprising should pay attention to, is that you don't necessarily have to go into a combat just because it looks like the rewards are good. Like, sure, sometimes they're good, but you really do want to pair your combat bonuses. Sometimes that is more valuable. So yeah, here's where I'm like, oh, I have a recon. I'm dumb. Shouldn't have done that. I guess we're going to go to, I think, contracts here. I don't think I go to Imperial Basin for 1 spice. It seems really bad. Although I'm thinking like maybe I can just win this combat. No, I can't. I can't win this combat. There's no way. So I'd at best get 2nd place. And then Patience is sitting on, maybe I do go to Imperial Basin. Oh, that is so weird. No, okay, good. I'm really glad I did that. All right. Contracts, draw card. Yeah, drew 2 persuasion. That's not bad. So I'm up to 6 persuasion. Get my contract for the buy Spice Must Flow. I'm definitely in on the Spice Must Flow right now. So looking at this row, Holy War is the best card, followed by Smuggler's Haven, maybe. Other Memory is very good too. I like Local Fence, but Holy War is never coming back to me. It's just too good. I would love to have Holy War. Holy War would just fit with what I was doing since I had Fremen already. There's a leadership. Not really what I'm doing. I'm not committing to worms right now. In fact, no one has committed to worms. No one has any hooks. It's a very wait and see kind of game, which I do like. And that's one of the things I think is interesting about Bloodlines, is they're more wait and see. Okay, we're on to Patience's reveal, and he shows 6. And I can't imagine he's not going to get leadership here. Yeah, he picks up leadership. This makes sense. He is the most likely to get hooks right now because it's round 3. Going into round 4, he could Siege Tabor. Looks like he's going to have a blue coming up, and then having a leadership available is nice, although it's not synced with his blue cards, so it's a little annoying. It'll eventually get synced. I have 6 persuasion. I think I make a mistake here. I should have taken... I was thinking like I just needed to get Solari and Spice, so maybe Local Fence is what I need, but I don't think Local Fence is what I need. I think I should have probably taken Branching Paths here, or one of the other Bene Gesserit cards. I think both of those synergize well with what I have. I was thinking like maybe I need a Fremen card so that I can get my Fremen bump here. So I could just like take this this pretty measly Fremen card on the left. So Branching Path I was definitely thinking about. It's like a very good card. I don't think I'm going to end up getting the Bene Gesserit Alliance. I'm last in Bene Gesserit influence right now. I mean, it could be just worth it. Oops. So I do take Local Fence, and I think now the decision here, I have 3 more persuasion. I decided not to take anything, which I think is probably wrong. I think I should have taken the Fremen card. I didn't want to bloat my deck though. Yeah, the Local Fence is good, but it doesn't have a tag. And if I'm going for tags, I probably should not have played it. I should have grabbed something else. Should have grabbed like a Bene Gesserit at least. That may be mistake number 2. Blue retreats for a contract. Now, very interesting. They seem to be going for contracts, but they're picking up like sort of like contracts that are good for Spice Must Flows. So they're trying to set up for Spice Must Flow. We're going to the next round. I think I'm sitting fine. I'm a big combat turn here. This is like pretty massive. People are going to have to get out of the way. It's that massive. I definitely want to win this combat. The problem is yellow is sitting pretty close to Highliner. So yeah, there's that. So I have exactly enough to go like some influence High Council. I think High Council, it's really weird. I think I built my deck kind of backwards here. I think I'm going for combat, but I end up going, I believe, for High Council first. And I think this is what one of my mistakes was, and I should have seen this ahead of time. So if you're going combat, you need the extra action to contest combats. If you're going Spice Must Flow, you don't, because you're playing more passively. You're trying to sit back and accumulate resources, and you're trying to accumulate persuasion, and you don't necessarily need to win combats, or you might not necessarily need to win combats. And I think I kind of did like both of those things. I try to do both, which I think comes back to bite me here. Mohiam is discarding and drawing. I play 2 secrets. And I find, so I also cash in one of my contracts, and I find Chome Profits. So Chome Profits here gives me a point if I have 4 contracts completed. So I'm already on the contracts plan, and I think I got gifted this point. I think that's nice to have. but it is just like, you know, what I was going to be doing anyway, so it's good. And we really want to play combat this round. The problem is both the blue spaces have been taken up already, and I don't have access to Siege Tabor. We're probably going to see blue go faction and then red go Siege Tabor this turn. So blue and yellow are fighting for control of the Bene Gesserit. That is a very dangerous thing to be doing. Yellow seems to be playing like they're going for Panopticon, because otherwise, like, you might be completely screwed here if someone else snags it from you. So I'd imagine here yellow goes High Council and then buys Panopticon. I have to decide whether I'm committing to this combat or not. I can always throw 3 in. I can throw 2 in plus my Starter Car Commander, or I can go High Council, or I can go Swordmaster. Now, I think this is a mistake. I should have gone for Swordmaster here. Because I was planning on playing, I could have had an extra action and probably would have gotten Imperial Basin anyway. The only person who had any access or had any actions left was yellow, and I doubt they were going to Imperial Basin. I should have seen this play. They're going to go High Council, pick up Panopticon, and then I'm just like behind. We will win this combat, most likely. I have 4 daggers. Blue has nothing. So, yep, here's High Council. This is a very good play from yellow. Yellow's just playing very smart, just doing their own thing. Like, I mean, they are getting the techs that matter, and no one else can contest it. Patience is sitting on 8 spice because he went to Deep Desert this round, and is probably going to start highlining over and over again. The problem here is, like, I was kind of pinched, so I feel like because Patience was going for combat here, I was feeling I was going to be pinched in the next couple of rounds, though, so that I needed to pair my symbol, but I had already paired my symbol, so I didn't technically need to do that. So I probably should have just waited. I probably should have not gone into combat this round. I didn't want to give I didn't want to give blue this combat, but it is what it is. I didn't give them this. I took the combat. I will win this combat pretty handily, I believe. I don't think they have any cards. It's a good combat. It's a good one to win. It's hard to say this isn't a good one to win. I just should have gone for Swordmaster, and I probably would have gotten rewarded with the spice anyway. That was my mistake. So yeah, a couple of punts here. I think just tunnel visioning on what I wanted to do is like going in for an extra combat. I probably would have been able to go in for combat anyway here. So I didn't have to do that. I guess I wouldn't have been able to throw in my commander, but I still would have won the combat by 1 anyway. So maybe. Actually, I wouldn't have. I would have been tied. We would have tied. So I wouldn't have been able to win the combat, but I should have had my Swordmaster going into next round. That would have been smarter. As it is, I decided to go for combat plus High Council. And with the cards I have in deck, lots of combat cards, this doesn't really synergize super well. Blue's going to retreat anyway. They got another retreat for a tech. And here they're hovering over a bunch of different techs, but decide to go with, I think, Disposal Facility, which I think is just a total mistake here. They take Disposal Facility. They probably should have taken the one that gives them +1 Persuasion and 2 Intrigues, because they do get a discount of 1 with the Intrigue that they played. So it was a bit of a mistake on their part. I'm not playing ideally, but I think that there should have been something else going on there. Okay, so red's going to retreat, get out of this combat. To put a spy down makes sense. And yellow's going to take second place in this combat. Feels bad, man. Blue thought they had second place by retreating all those units, and now they have third. Okay, we get our pair. Looking for another combat so they can pair again. I got to take contracts. So deciding on what I'm doing with my contracts here, I definitely want to take... So here's something as a good point to note about when you're taking contracts, is that if you see 2 contracts that trigger off the same thing, you should take them as soon as possible. They are very, very good boosts to your economy. Red is probably not interested in contracts anyway, so I'm kind of protected. Things are going pretty well for me. Blue is stocked up with commanders and troops. Yellow is doing fine. They have, of course, Panopticon, which gives them a troop and a spy every round, which is a little bit nuts. They also will score a point for every... They will move up one space on each track there, 1 space or lower. So that's bad for me. That essentially means they're going to score 3 points as long as they win this alliance with blue. We'll see how that goes in a moment. But it is a big point, is that yellow needs to win this alliance pretty much. Like they just have to, or they're totally toast. Blue should be trying to just like flat out take that alliance without quarter here. All right, so Mohiam throws in, just as a note, like Patience was definitely saying that he's not played Mohiam before and that he wasn't using her ability very well. Like he didn't go for spies as much as he probably should have. He didn't take the spy cards, and he kept forgetting that all of her cards had spy on them. So it's tough. He remembers toward the end of the game, but I think, or maybe it's this round he remembers, but he'd been forgetting, which I understand. It's not easy to remember that. All right, so we go High Council and get a troop and a Solari, and then I can pick up this amazing tech that gives me Counselor's Ambition and Spice Market, or yeah, the corner of the market, but corner of the Spice Market, whatever it's called, the Spice Point, Spice must flow points. I'm now sitting at 3 persuasion, 10 persuasion in hand total, with all that good stuff. So looking at this stuff here, just kind of like browsing. I didn't want to give away that I had Spice Must Flow. It didn't really matter. I definitely did have Spice Must Flow. I also have 2 water in my back pocket so that I could go to Deep Desert if I really wanted to. Nobody will probably play the Deep Desert until it has like 3 spice extra on it, so I should be able to get that. Haga Basin has 3 spice on it right now, which makes it pretty nice. However, I kind of definitely wanted to get my value from these contracts, so I need to get 3 more contracts. 1 from Spice Must Flow, which I'm probably going to get this turn, and then another one from Harvesting Spice. I'm just looking at my deck. Deck's lined up for combat next round. That's pretty good. I think what I end up doing this round is playing to secure contract to get another one of those contracts, the one that kind of duplicates my other harvest ability, harvest contract. So blue goes to Imperial Basin. Patience heads over to, that is the wrong card, Patience. Oh no, he's not, because he remembered that it has the spy ability. So he goes to Fremen. Pretty nice, man. That's a sweet ability. I have to play some more guys. So I think we contract here. I mean, this seems like the best play. I'm going to draw a card, shuffle my deck, set it up for combat next round. So I could potentially win a combat next round, depending on what happens. Shuffle, draw, get the duplicate contract, essentially. Well, unfortunately, I drew a dagger here, which is not great. But I do have 9 persuasion anyway. This would have been better if I had kept that dagger for next round. 100%. Not much I can do about it. It would have been worse if I drew my access card, I suppose. So it's not too bad. Secure Spice Trade, that's what it's called. Okay, drawing 2, throwing in 2 troops, or getting 2 troops. Bumping up 1. Yeah, blue is blowing this Bene Gesserit thing right now. They definitely needed to jam the Bene Gesserit track, and they are unable to do that right now. They're just getting completely overrun by yellow. It's really, see here, they had access and they chose not to go. That is a huge blunder on blue's part. So, okay, if we just look back, blue has Branching Path in hand, unless they drew it off of their last card. They went to, no, they didn't. They went to Haga. They didn't even, oh, maybe they needed Haga to get the spice to go there. Maybe they were out of spice. So it's possible they just like didn't plan this very well and should have saved a spice for the last round. That's unfortunate for them. Mercantile Affairs is okay. It is a good payoff card. I don't need it though. Quash Rebellion would have been nice to get. But I'm at the point where I'm like, well, it's round 5. I have to buy 3 Spice Must Flows. That's my goal, is to buy 3 Spice Must Flows. 3 points. I have 2 in hand. So I have 5 points that I'm planning on making. That puts me up to 8. And then I have chance to pair. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's not looking amazing, but everyone else is sitting back at 2 or 3 points right now, keeping in mind that Fade has essentially 3 more points and sitting at 5. So I feel like I'm leading a little bit. I was teasing them about the Bene track. You guys are going a little hard on that Bene track, you know? And here's the problem. Because if Fade manages to get ahead of blue on this track, and they will have first access next round, and I believe they have public, what is it called? The one that gives them double bumps for recalling a spy. Like, I just don't think that yellow can be beat here, and I don't think blue saw that. Public spectacle, that's what it's called. I believe they have public spectacle. Okay, so I get my 3 Solari here. I get my bump with the spacing. That is in the wrong trash, but whatever. I'll fix it in a second. Get my Spice Must Flow and feel pretty good about that turn. That was a decent turn, decent reveal. I think I'm the front runner to win this game at the moment, but look at this. Look at this. Like, it's kind of insane. I don't remember when this happened, when they got Possible Futures, but Possible Futures is just a bonkers card. They also got Spice Must Flow that round. That was very good for them. So they're also kind of doing what I'm doing, is trying to get enough extra points elsewhere to make up for the fact that we're not going to be battling late game, and kind of give up battling to Patience and blue in the last 2 rounds. That's what I was doing. But I don't mind giving up like a combat if I can make up those points elsewhere. And I have 2 points in hand, so that feels pretty decent. In other words, I still have potential points to make up with Bene Gesserit and Fremen. I don't have the Fremen alliance or Fremen or Bene Gesserit friendships yet. Patience is getting a little bit like sandwiched between yellow and blue in this round, but yeah, there's not much else they could do. I mean, keep throwing in troops, keep throwing in stuff. That just seems so rough. Blue also doesn't have a unit or an agent on a green space, so they don't get the extra 2 daggers. That was a mistake. Yeah, I don't know. But having 6 troops in garrison going into round 6 feels good to me. I get first action. So all I need to do is draw my access card. I think I have 7 cards in my deck in my draw pile. So I have to draw my access card and a yellow card, a Dune Desert card, in order to get all the spice I need, complete 2 of my contracts, and then throw troops in for the last combat I need to win the game. So that's the idea here, and let's see what I draw. I do not draw my access card. Yeah, so this is the fun about playing a deck builder, when you're like, everything will go fine. There is a chance that this round that would have happened, and I would have been able to get this extra pair, which would be very nice. It would give me 2 bumps on, or a bump on Emperor, which would have ultimately helped me. I decide, however, to go Counselor's Ambition first, and then go Desert now, because I don't really have any other options. There's not a lot going on in my hand. I get 2 spies. So 1 spy, I think... 1 spy should go... Yeah, 1 spy goes there, and 1 spy goes to Chom. Okay, that makes some sense. There's not a lot of other options for me right now. And then yellow mentions I could have done this by going to... I could have gotten my contracts by just going to Haga Basin and gotten 4, but I wanted to get 5. Because I really wanted to go I really wanted to go to Highliner, but I just didn't. That was my plan, and what I should have done is saved Counselor's Ambition, gone to Haga, gotten my 4, and then saved that for a potential trip to Research Station or something like that. Like that, I think again, tunnel vision here. Like my goal here is to start thinking more broadly about what when my plan doesn't work, what should be my backup plan. And I think here my backup plan was not to go to Deep Desert to get 5, but to go to get 4 Haga Base and block that, throw troops in as usual, then go Swordmaster. I should go Swordmaster here, and so on. Important to note here is that as I'm playing, like, there's too much stuff to track, right? I'm looking back at this game going like, yeah, I definitely did this wrong. And I'm saying here in the chat I need 5 spice instead of the 4, which is, and that is true, because I will have access to Highliner next round, but the big problem has already happened, is that I won't have access to Highliner next round because someone will get it before me. So I should have given up on that plan, and I should have gone to Haga Basin instead, taken the 4 away from whoever else wants to get it. I think it's a reasonable plan. However, I don't think it was the best plan looking back on it. It also says that I completed 1 contract, but I have completed 4. They just ended up in my trashing space instead of my contract space. So I have completed the contract thing. I fixed that in a little bit. But all right, Blue Ghost High Council. Are they going to get another tech? I feel like their techs are just not good. There's nothing really worth buying in the row unless I can get a Spice Mist Flow. That's all I really want is a Spice Mist Flow at this point. I think there is an argument here. So here was my thought process on this. I really wanted to hit my access card. Okay. So 50% chance I hit my access card if I go to privilege, returning my agent to my hand or to my reserve area, whatever. If I find my access card, I still have access to Highliner because I have my spy there. This was a gamble. This is something I did that Yellow didn't see this, and they commented on at the end of the game that I should have gone for Swordmaster instead. But and I was hoping like I couldn't possibly get this turned on. I had to probably buy back my Sardaukar Commander, and I didn't realize I realized I didn't do this with my first action. I should have bought back my Sardaukar Commander. That was a mistake. If I had bought back I still wouldn't have been able to get the cards. What do you call it? Show of strength to work. So my choice is either privilege or Swordmaster. I could also go I could technically go to Arakeen, but it's never going to work. I ultimately remember that I go for privilege instead, thinking that I would still be able to get my Swordmaster if someone goes there this round. I thought Yellow was going to go there. Or sorry, not Yellow. No one has access to go in there. So that was just a punt. So this sort of inadvertently helped. So my last card in my deck was my access card. The other one was Shishakli. I find my Shishakli. So that gives me a Fremen bump. That's good. I get 4 daggers. That's good. Probably not enough to win this combat. Certainly not good enough to win this combat. But here's the other problem. I've only got a blue dagger or blue symbol in hand, and there's only 1 space left. Now, if I had gone Haga Basin instead of Deep Desert, I would have had 2 extra water to go to Research Station. I could have won this combat. So big problem, big mistake getting greedy with the big spice here. Ends up, I think, possibly costing me the game. But there's something to note, something to pay attention to when you're playing. It's really hard to see when you do it initially. But I think here I should have gone for the cheaper option. 1 water for 4 spice instead of 3 water for 5 spice. Yeah, ultimately. Blue is throwing 2 troops in. Thinks they can beat me there. So there's... Patience is in real trouble here because not only is he playing his cards that would give him... So here he goes. This is an important moment. So I think he's waiting for me to hit Highliner, right? But he decides to go for it. He says, do I have it? Do I have my access card? Well, I was 50% chance to get it, and I did not get it. But I didn't give anything away. I just bluffed that I said, no, I don't have it. So maybe he wouldn't do it, but he doesn't do it. He does it anyway. He throws all his troops in. I could definitely have won this combat if I had it, but unfortunately I don't. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Just imagining getting my my Swordman, not Swordmaster, access card here. My way to get into Highliner does not happen, and he adds this, so he's way all in here. So adds an extra bump. So now this combat. Imagine if I had it, if I had it, what a bummer for Patience. I would have been able to take the alliance for the Emperor, get a pair. It's just a disaster for him if I have it here, right? And I don't have it. It's in my deck. It's in my deck. So it is what it is. Yeah, just considering here, what am I supposed to do? I had to try. I think I just had to try to get it. I think playing Shishakli here is also wrong. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Am I trying to get Spice Mist Flow? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am. This is also a mistake. I also did the math here, realizing that if I had used, okay, this is just a total punt. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I got a little bit tilted here because even if I held Shishakli, I would not be able to get what I wanted, right? I just could not find my access card. So I'm going to trash. I'm going to draw. How many cards do I have in there? Yeah, that's the last card. Yeah, look at that. So I just do it to make myself feel bad, I guess. Pulling a spy, so I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I get 10 persuasion, so easily spice must flow. I can't do that. That would have been nice. So I could take the spice refinery. It is not so useful to me, but it's okay. I think I had a lot of outs here, and I think I just punted this. So getting the spice must flow is fine. It would have been much better to be able to go win this combat, though, because right now this combat is worth way more than a spice must flow. This is basically Patience's way back into the game, as he was not doing so great. Yellow by spice, you know, blue gets a troop in. And yeah, there's a bunch of things I did wrong here. So if I had played initially, if I had played Dahaga, when I went to Haga Basin, I would have been able to probably win this combat. The other thing is I would have been able to get my Spice Must Flow, and if I had my Swordmaster, I would have been able to do that too. So I probably should have. I don't regret going to Privilege this round. I think that was okay. I think I had to take the shot that I would get my access card, and then I think I got a little bit greedy with the Shishakli play. I think it does get me Spice Must Flow this round, that is true, but it also sacrifices a bump, which I probably am going to need here. It also makes it quite difficult for my next round for me to do anything of use because I have no access card. I probably should have just waited and not drawn. This was a huge, like, I think it's a throw. This is where it'd been nice to be like Mother Mohayim, because then I could have gone to Highliner regardless. That's kind of cool. Yeah. So Patience gets it. Spacing bump, Solari. Unfortunately, Blue and me tie third place for this combat, which sucks so bad. It might have been worth it just to keep yellow out of second place here. Not completely out of it, just keeping in mind though that yellow does have 3 extra points. Almost. They need to go to the Emperor once, which they can easily do this round. That puts them to 6 plus 3 is 9, plus whatever points they have in hand. Maybe another Spice Must Flow this round. So I think that yellow has really picked back up where they were. I'm still not sure what blue is doing. I think blue is getting caught between yellow and red now in combat. Doesn't have a great combat deck. And I'm like kind of annoyed that I have Show of Strength. Like, local fence here could be nice, but Show of Strength is awful. Wish I had taken any other card, honestly. Bene Gesserit bump card would have been great. Like, even though it wouldn't have helped me win a combat, I just feel like it's just not what I needed. I don't love blue's position right now. I don't think they're getting past like 6 or 7 points this game. I think Patience has enough combat. They're going to go to get Swordmaster here. That's what I would do. I'd go get Swordmaster. Oh, he doesn't have it. Maybe I was like, oh, yay. No one has Swordmaster here. So this is another reason that I think Swordmaster would have been a better play. Nobody having Swordmaster, everyone kind of being like, hey, I don't need this now, is good. But now I'm not going to get it because I'm like 1 behind. So, all right, well, we're going to go to shipping. Did a bump, get a bunch of Solari, and use my ring to bump again. Definitely got to do that. Yeah, I love the Emperor, so good. Swordman for Fade. Yeah, giving up his spy here. I think this is reasonable. Just getting an extra intrigue every turn. This is why I really want to focus more on the techs, is because just having the access to those things, having access to those extra resources every round really gives you so much power in this game. Yeah, that means he's going to see like 1 or 2 intrigues for 2 spice. Technically, I think 1 spice. So easy stuff. Now I'm kind of shut out of Swordmaster, so I'm just going to go Privilege this round. Man, I really hate Show Power, Show of Force. That card is terrible. This is a really cool play. I like seeing the Mother Mohayim being able to go anywhere their spy is, and then using the Bene Gesserit operative to replay your spy anywhere else is really solid. Solid card for Mohayim. All right, I got a Privilege and pick back up my potential agent. And I drew a card. So let's see, I hit 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 7 persuasion. Now that is really unfortunate. 7 persuasion. I don't have an intrigue to trash. I've been sitting on these same intrigues. I haven't been doing that, and I don't have another dagger, and none of the techs were useful to me. Yeah, I think this is where I start to go like, well, I definitely tried. The question is though, what am I going to do with all this stuff? I really want my bump with Shashakli. That gets me a point. I have 2 points in hand. That puts me to 10. I could use a combat. That would put me to 11. This combat is kind of a big deal for yellow and blue. I cannot believe, I'm like absolutely stupefied that blue has let yellow take this alliance. It's actually kind of stupid. Like, they had the ability to go to secrets this round and chose not to. They basically sacked this alliance, not really paying attention. This I think hands yellow the game. Ultimately, just not paying attention to the alliance. They are literally even, and then they choose not to use. they had Bene Gesserit access, their very first action, and they choose to go get troops instead. Is a huge blunder. I think that doesn't make sense to me. I think they should have probably gone to secrets or anything really, just to seal the alliance, and give up this combat. Who cares? Like, this combat is pretty bad for them. I guess it's okay, but we're going to see some worms maybe? No one's been playing worms, and that leaves the door open for patience to play some worms. So yeah, it looks like we're going to see some worms. But having no intrigues is definitely the problem for patience this game. I feel like I'm sitting at a pretty good place here, but I also know, looking at this hand, that my deck it's just failed me. Like, I don't have enough access. I'm not going to be able to get what I want this round. I'm not going to be able to buy Spice Must Flow. I have nowhere to go. So I decide to go shipping again to get a bump. And here the question is between Emperor or Fremen. I'm going to get my Fremen bump anyway, right? So there's no reason for me to do that. I try to get my Emperor Alliance here, maybe. I could try to steal Patience's Alliance if I was worried. But I don't think that's going to happen. He's going to have access there anyway. I feel like I just don't have access. So I decided, I think, ultimately to go for Emperor here. It was a long think about it. All right, so I do decide to go to Emperor. I decide not to chase. If I can get that one Emperor point, that puts me to 8. Then I get to 10. Spice Must Flow next round will be 11, possibly. And I get 12 with Fremen bump. So here, this puts me to... I get my Fremen bump. All right, there we go. So I have 6 persuasion. None of these things are good. I guess I can get disruption tactics just to have another Fremen card. None of these are very good. I take a card that isn't going to come back through. So get my bump. I'm at 8. I'm sitting at 10 essentially. I can get another one with another Spice Must Flow. Maybe that puts me to 11. My goal here is to get 1 access to the Emperor. Now I just have to have my access card come through, please. Again, one more time. It didn't come through the first time, so we'll see if it comes through the next time. Of course, now I don't think I have a 1 or a 50% chance. I do hit it, and action's on blue. And we just need no one to block you. No, like, no one should block me at Emperor, except if you look at the board, red and yellow would both love to have an Emperor bump. So that's the trick here. And then I just don't have any other way to get there. I have no way to get there. In fact, I have no double yellow, so I can't even go spice and then ship. That's a problem. So as long as Patience doesn't take the Emperor, I should be golden. I should be at 12 end game points. This is a really interesting game. I think everyone has had their own problems throughout the game. I think blue has had the most problems, obviously losing that alliance to yellow because of just like not seeing what was going on that gifted that alliance to yellow. Just a little bit of a little sloppy there, but you know what? That's how you learn. it's a tough game, man. It's not easy. And I think, yellow, Shiku is definitely an experienced player, knows what they're doing. He's playing a very smooth, very clean game. I think Patience's game has been kind of miserable. It looked a little bit miserable. None of the cards that they've been able to accumulate throughout the game have actually mattered to them yet. They haven't been able to get much out of them. Blue's going to do a little market manipulation and head into Swordmaster. Now I'm completely shut out of Swordmaster this game, so I might as well just go to Privilege. But oh look, I don't have access. So yeah, a lot of problems on my part here. I don't even have any water so that I could draw into access. I just literally have no way to do anything. It's really disappointing. I think this round, now again I mentioned red just has to not go to Emperor, or at least go to Sardaukar. If they go to Sardaukar, that'd be cool. All they have to do is not go to the contract space for Emperor. So blue decides to not move their spy, which I think is a mistake also, because it would block me. So red, Patience does decide to do this. I think this is, it's a logical play because he's clearly setting up for a Highliner, and he gets the Highliner double troop contract, so he's going to be able to throw 7-14 power in. That makes a lot of sense, right? I just don't think that that's going to win him the game. I think that it can get him a point or two. It's too expensive ultimately, and he still has to contest with blue, which could be a problem. Blue not moving his spy to the Swordmaster space gives me an out. My one out is I have to go to Bene Gesserit Espionage. I have to hit my green access. I have to put the spy there. So that is literally my only out here to get Swordmaster, which I don't really even want to do because it doesn't actually give me an extra action. It just makes me lose 8 or 6 Solari. So I have a tough spot here. I think that's what I decide to do though, is to go to Espionage first. Yeah, just not having access to Emperor is pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. I see more. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to get Spiceman's Flow. But now I can't play another card. Ugh. Yeah. So that sucks. If I had hit a green access card, I could go Privilege, which would draw me a card, which hopefully would draw me into something I can use. But no, I'm just getting all this garbage all at once, and that is what happens when you buy a bunch of Spiceman's Flows. So I'm going to end up at 11 points, 1 from my Spiceman's Flow now, 2 from my points in hand, and no pair for my question mark, unfortunately. The other thing is I can give up Spiceman's Flow and try to get this combat, which I just can't possibly win. I know 14 power is going into the combat next action. All right, sorry, I had to catch up. I had something going on in the other room. So we saw yellow hitting up Arakeen, drawing, definitely getting their spice this round, putting them to 8 plus 3, which kind of sucks. 11 plus whatever else they have in hand. Plus they could potentially now win this combat, which would be even worse. I don't think they can, but maybe they can. I don't remember what happens here. If red wins the combat, they could pay for 1 point, and they get 1 extra point from the Thopter, so that would be 2 more points. So one from the Thopter, 1 from the question mark pair, 1 from the combat, another 1 from the combat. That's 4 points. That would put them up to 12. So I actually want to hope that if I want to get second in this game, yeah, I think I want to hope that red doesn't win this combat, or if they do, they commit enough, too much to it that they can't pay for 1 of the points. Because unfortunately for me, I have to reveal next turn to just take a point. I believe. I don't remember. I don't think I can do anything else. I think that's all I got. Just got reveal, which sucky. I could go for combat and go throw 2 in, throw 2 more in from Spice Refinery, buy my Sardaukar Commander, puts me up to 10 strength, but I got nothing on the back end. I have no combat. So I'd be stuck at 10. Yellow's already at 8. That really doesn't help me very much. Really unfortunate this round. I think there's something to be said that I should have probably taken one of my bumps with the Emperor first. So when I had gone to shipping, instead of taking the first one to Fremen, I should have taken one with the Emperor to try to get the Alliance first. That way, I would have been able to, instead of having to go to Emperor to secure my point, I could have gone to Fremen, where nobody really wants to go at the end of the game. So I could have easily gone Fremen, got that point, had my point, been at 10, got 2 more for 12. So there was a legitimate path to get to 12. And in fact, I think there were several paths to get to 12 here. But I think I'm going to get stuck on 11 points. This is a miserable turn. Last round of the game. You don't really want to just do this, but I have absolutely no way to get past 11 at the moment. And so I just got to buy Spice Must Flow. But yeah, this is another thing I want to highlight. And this is something that Patience wanted to do for his goal, is to pay attention to the number of cards in your deck and try to stay under 12 or something like that. I had like 14. I think I had 16 cards in my deck, so it's not unreasonable that I would draw such a garbagey hand. It just sucks that it happens in the last round of the game. But yeah, if I had top decked Dagger, I think I get to 12. If I had top decked, yeah, I mean, there are lots of things that could have happened. If I had gotten my access card 2 rounds ago, it would have definitely mattered. But, you know, that's the way it works. There's not a lot I can do about it. So now a little bit of politicking happens here, as sometimes happens in Dune Imperium Uprising, with or without Bloodlines, is that we're now pointing out that if red doubles his rewards through sandworms at Haga Basin, I don't think that yellow can beat them. He got a point for that. For Spice Must Flow, and then 3 more, putting him at 11, depending on what else he has in hand. But I think here that my like political talk is that basically, I think I want him to stop red from going worms. But yellow is pretty confident as it is, which is a little scary. Not gonna lie, kind of makes you wonder. I think he's sitting on 3 or 4 intrigues in hand, 3 intrigues maybe, 4 intrigues. So this would be actually a good spot to, if you were red, to go secrets. That's actually a massive problem for yellow, because this is a potential problem for yellow. They may not have seen it, but they have 4 intrigues in hand, which they haven't used them, so they're probably all combat intrigues. So if if red has access to Bene Gesserit, they should 100% go Bene Gesserit, steal a card. He doesn't have it, so yeah. Here, you know, maybe yellow typing is just distracting red, but red should have 100% gone to secrets if he had it. I didn't see this during the game because obviously I'd cut off the intrigues from the screen. It's just too big of a screen, you know. There's not enough space for all this crap. But yeah, I think red should have 100% gone to secrets. That's 4 points. If he wins this combat, he gets 4 points. That's pretty massive. So being able to potentially steal a card from yellow that could win him the game, it's another thing. Yellow's sitting on 3 spice, so they could have the 3 spice for 6 swords combat intrigue. They could also have what else? They don't have 2. Oh, they could have 2 spies on the board because they have Panopticon, so they could definitely have Spring the Trap. But red decides to go to Siege here. We'll see if they actually had access to secrets when they reveal next turn, but I think that if they didn't have access to it, that makes some sense. But if they did have access to it, I think it was a mistake. In fact, I think if they didn't have access to it, I think they should have thrown a worm in. Yeah, it's looking a little scary for red. Oh, I see. That's why red didn't go for worms. The wall is up, and we were talking about it. The wall is up, so there's no way to get worms in. And red did not have access to secrets, so that is why they didn't go there. Yeah, well, we'll see how this turns out. So reveal, Spice Must Flow for yellow, putting him at the 8, potentially 11, or absolutely 11 with Panopticon. That tactile we need to have a chat about. Spending 5 spice to get like what, 4 spies and 4 troops. It's probably the equivalent of getting a Highliner or better. Plus you get this bonus of 3 essential bumps on 3 factions, or on the factions. So They're able to chat about that tile not being completely fair. Yellow has an intrigue card, which they could have stolen had they had access to secrets, but they did not. Imagine if they did, though. They had access that put them to 9. They could have won the combat, and they would have been up to 13 or 14. All right, Devour puts yellow ahead. Test weakness. Oh, and Spice's power. So it didn't matter. Oh, they're going to retreat to get some spice. Okay, so this didn't matter. They're just showing off now. But they could have easily lost this if there was access to secrets. Anyone could have had access to secrets. In fact, blue could have done it and stolen an intrigue, and that could have changed things. There were lots of things that could happen this game. So we end up at 11, but 14 for yellow. Yeah, so 9 for patience. Yeah. So we have second place. I think this game could have gone multiple ways. I think it was a very close game. I made some mistakes for sure. Blue made some major mistakes. Wasn't paying attention to the board multiple times. I think Patience did very well. At the end, he really started to crank that deck. Yeah, we just had to pay a little bit more attention to Panopticon. Panopticon was a huge problem. We just could not stop yellow from getting what they needed. Yeah, but I think that's something for the future. So yeah, definitely. Something that's considered, I think, should be considered for competitive play. I think Panopticon, just like Spy Satellites in IMO, is just a little too unfair, giving free bumps for things for very little upfront cost. That's going to do it. This was the first game of our quest. We will have some more for you in the future, and we'll have the commentary about this one following this. So we'll see you afterwards, and we'll see you then. Take care.